In this video, I'm going to show you how to create a simple form using Gravity Forms. Gravity Forms is a premium WordPress plugin for creating forms on your site. It's very powerful. You can do it a lot more than just creating a simple contact form. It's included with our theme installs. We use our developer license for that, so it's fully registered. Or if you're doing it yourself, you can purchase a copy of Gravity Forms from gravityforms.com. A single site license is $39. So once you install the Gravity Forms plugin, you will see a new menu item in your dashboard. So I'm going to change tabs over to my dashboard now. And you'll see in your dashboard, if you go down, you'll see now a new menu item that says Forms. We're going to go to New Form. Okay. Now once you select New Form, the first thing you do is you give the form a title. I'm just going to call this Sample Form. And you can give it a description. This is a description of my form. Okay, we're going to create the form. Okay, now before we start adding fields to these forms, the first thing we want to do is to adjust some of the settings. And you'll see up at the top, you've got a menu here where it says Form Editor, Form Settings, Entries Preview. We're going to go to Form Settings. First thing we're going to do is select the very first one for Form Settings. Okay, now we've got our form settings, and you'll see there's a title and description we added. And you've got some options for how you want the labels placed in relation to your fields, the input type. But what we're really interested in now is the last form option here where it says Anti-Spam Honeypot. We're going to check this box, and let's update the form settings. Now what this does is this creates, let me scroll down, creates an extra field in your form that can't be seen, but spam bots will try to fill in that form, and when they do, then it rejects that entry. So it keeps you from getting spam in your form submissions. It also, you no longer will have to use like a CAPTCHA form or anything. Just be sure to check that Enable Anti-Spam Honeypot and you're good to go. Okay, so let's scroll back up. The other thing is confirmations. I'm going to click on that. Now it comes with a default confirmation. I'm going to click edit, and what the confirmation is the little message that shows up once a person hits the submit button on the form. It gives a little text message. The default is thanks for contacting us, we will get in touch with you shortly, but you can customize that to whatever you want. The other setting you need to do is notifications. Okay, and you'll see it comes with a default notification to notify the admin, which is you. So you want to mouse over this admin notification and click edit. Okay. And it says send to, and you can enter the email. By default, it's set to your WordPress admin email, and this is the email address that's in your settings. If you go down to Settings General, let's open this up in a new tab. There we go. The email address here, that's your admin email address, and by default it will use that one. If there's another one you'd rather use, just go ahead and put that email address in here, like someone@example.com, and it will send the notification to that person instead. And what the notification is, once a person fills out the form, it will send all those fields that they filled out to your email. The from email, the default is the admin email. Once we start adding fields to our form, if there's an email field, you want to check that, and it will show up in this list of fields, and you can select that email field so it will have the user's or the site visitor's email address in that field instead. You can also customize that email message that you get so you know what page it came from. By default, it shows you the form title, but you've got a little icon here to the right. If you select that, maybe you want to know exactly what page that form was embedded on, because maybe you're using that form on several different pages. We're going to add that. Let's put a from in between there. So it'd be from the contact form on whatever page that we have it on. So when I get the email now, I'll know exactly which page that site visitor was on when they submitted that form. The message, by default, it sends you all the fields that you have set up in your form. Again, you have this little icon where you can select specific fields. Right now we don't have any fields, so I'm just going to leave it as all fields. Okay, and then I'm just going to update that notification. Okay, so now we're going to go back to the form editor and we're going to start adding some fields to our form. Let's go to the form editor. There we go. Now on the right hand side, you'll see these little meta boxes that says standard fields, advanced fields, post fields, pricing fields. For this video tutorial, we're just going to go over the basics, which are just the standard fields and the advanced fields. The standard fields are what you normally see in any contact form: a single line of text, a paragraph text. You can have a drop down menu, radio buttons, check boxes. But before we do that, I'm going to go to the advanced fields. The reason is the advanced fields are pre-formatted, commonly used fields. So let's open that up and you'll see here they are: the name, their address, their email, their phone. So let's start adding some of these advanced fields. So we want the person's name, we want their email, we want their address, and we want their phone. Okay, so it's added these fields. Now that I've added those fields, I want to make some of these required. So as you mouse over each field, you'll get a little blue box, and this is where you can open it up and edit some of those properties for those fields. You can change the field label. You can actually add a description that will show up in the form. Enter your first and last name. And we want to make it required, so we check the little box for required. And let's close this back up. Okay. And email, we want to make that email field required as well. Okay. Now for emails, you'll see a little checkbox that says enable email confirmation. And this is good because sometimes people will mistype their email. So by checking this box, it requires them to put it in twice, and it will check to see if they match. So I'm going to enable that as well. The address, I'm going to open this up because it's asking for a lot of stuff I don't need. I don't need to know what country they're in. So let's open this up and you'll see you have the option to hide that country field. You can even hide the state, and you can hide that second address line, which is what I'm going to do. There we go, and you'll see it looks a little cleaner now without that second address in the country. Phone, again, you can make that required. You can set up what kind of phone format, whether you want international or just a standard, and you can make that required. So there's our form. That's just our basic form with our basic fields. Okay, but suppose I want to add something like radio buttons or drop downs. We're going to go back to the standard fields and we're going to put in some radio buttons. So let's click that and it will put it at the bottom, but maybe I want that somewhere else. These are just drag and drop. Maybe I want them to complete these radio buttons before the address. So I'm going to drag it up to above the address. There we go. Now I've got that open, and this is where, open that up, and this is where I put in what the choices are going to be. I'm going to say, are you a first choice buyer, second choice seller, third choice investor? You'll see the little buttons on the right with the plus and minus. If I need to add another choice here, click that. Now I've got another choice. Maybe I want a choice for farmland or something. Um, and you can enable another the other choice. If none of your choices match what they want, you'll give them a choice of other that they can check as well. So we're going to add those, and it's the same way for the check boxes. If I select check boxes and open that up, you'll see you set that up exactly the same way. You put in the labels for each one of your choices here for your check boxes. You can add and remove using the little buttons here. So we've got the check boxes. I'm going to remove this again. Okay, remove the check boxes. You can also have a drop down menu with choices. Select drop down, and again it's the same way. You open it up and you put in what the choices are going to be in that drop down menu. Again, I'm going to remove this one. If you've got a long form, you can break it up into different pages by putting page breaks between them. But I'm going to stop here and just keep this as a very simple form with just name, email, my radio buttons, address, and phone. Now I'm going to update my form. Okay, so now we're done creating our form. So now we want to put our form on our site. So let's go create a page. I'm just going to call my page my form page and put my mouse cursor in there. And you use the little button on top of the visual editor here where it says add form. Gravity Forms adds this little button for you. You click on this, and this is where you select the form. Now here's the sample form I just created. I select it from the drop down. I have the option of displaying the form title or not. I'm going to select not. You can also display that form description that you entered. I think I will keep that. I'm going to keep that. And then just click Insert Form. And you'll see now it's inserted what's called a short code for that gravity form. You know, a short code is anything in WordPress that's in brackets like this. And that short code is telling WordPress use form number 7. Display the name is sample form. Don't display the title. Okay. So let's go ahead and let's publish our page and look at our form. Okay, and let's view our page. And there we go. There's our form. There's the description. This is where you enter the names. It's where you enter the email, confirm the email. So let's go ahead and fill in our form. There it is. Got a little CSS issue because it's not showing up. It's showing up white on white. Okay, a buyer. Put in an address, phone. Click submit. Last. Okay, let's enter the email. me@example.com. Let's see. Okay. And let's put it over here. me@example.com. Alright, now let's submit it. There we go. And see, there's your confirmation message that's popping up as soon as the form is submitted. Okay, now you can also add your forms to any of your widget areas. So we're going to do that now. We're going to go back to the dashboard. We're going to go to Appearance Widgets, and we're going to add our form to our primary sidebar. Gravity Forms gives you a widget. It's just titled Form. You'll see here it says Gravity Forms widget. You just drag it where you want it. There we go. Give it a title. Contact us. Select our sample form. And again, we have the choice of displaying our form title or our form description. And we're going to save that. Now let's go back to the front of our site and go to a page. Let's try our About page. And see, there we go. There's our form here, where we put in the name. Yeah. Example.com. Me at example.com. And then you can fill in the other ones. Click Submit. And again, it displays your confirmation message. So that's how you create a form and you add it to post, pages, and widget areas. Now when your site visitors fill out a form, it will send you that email that you formatted, the notification email, but it will also store all of those entries in your WordPress database. And this comes in handy if you want to export all of those contacts and then import them into something else like a Top Producer or Constant Contact. And the way you do that is with that Forms menu in your dashboard. Let's go back to the dashboard and go to Forms. And under Forms, you'll see Import Export. We're going to select Import Export. Export entries, and then you can select the form. I'm going to select the form that I just filled out. Okay, and you can select which fields you want to export. Our form, maybe I'm only interested in last name, first name, email. You know, if you're importing it to Top Producer or MailChimp or something, you don't need all the other fields like the radio buttons and things we did. So maybe I just want name, email, maybe phone. Okay, you can select a date range. By default, it will do all the entries. So if you're going in there every month, you know, you can just set it for that month. And then you download the export file. And the export file is a CSV file, which is comma separated text that can be imported into any kind of contact management system, whether it's Constant Contact, Top Producer, or even MailChimp. And you just save it to your desktop. And now you have a CSV file that you can use. So that's how you create a simple form using Gravity Forms.